Guys, Tugger here with a new video, and this video is not a World of Warcraft video, but it kind of ties into it. I've been speaking about going on Guild Wars 2, playing for live streams and for video, but also just in general, like trying to find a game where PvP is a bit better than World of Warcraft. Now, Guild Wars 2 is not a new game to me. Already played it multiple times, and it is just a game that I never really committed too much because of how it is. And I want to talk about it so people kind of, I would say, look a bit brighter towards World of Warcraft, but also just in general understand how the landscape of PvP is currently. Now, I'm going to make those kinds of videos for multiple games, but I'm going to start with Guild Wars 2. So Guild Wars 2 is a MMO that you could level from 1 to 80. There is like 4 expansions, I think. You have Path of Fire, Heart of Stone, of Thorns. You have Eye of the Dragon, or End of Dragons, excuse me. And then you have also Soto, which is Shadow of the Colossus. Now, those 4 expansions don't override each other. So it means that every expansion has current content, which is good and bad. So it means that, for example, in World of Warcraft, whenever you have Shadowlands and then you have Dragonflight coming out, you have new levels, new eye levels, new story, new raids. You're not going to go for Shadowlands again because it kind of gets overwritten. You have some things that kind of comes over from Shadowlands, but that are like evergreen things. For example, having PvP vendors in Shadowlands made it also happen in Dragonflight pretty much. But like the story or raids or PvP, whatever, nothing is going over. But here in Guild Wars 2, you can pretty much do any story, like anything pretty much, and you are not going to get set back. Level 80 in Living World Season 1, Living World Season 2, Heart of Stones, World Season 3, Path of Fire, whatever. All of these are current content pretty much. Now the current content is Secrets of the Obscure, which I didn't buy because I tried to first and foremost play the game a lot, so I know and understand, like, look, I'm going to stay on this game, but I always have the same issues like before, and it is like an issue for me, which probably is not an issue for some people. You see a lot of people here, but it's because of the zone where I'm in. But let's start from scratch. PvE, whenever you're leveling from 1 to 80, you have Tomes of Knowledges, which are like items that you can use. I don't know if I have one here, but I can like show you on the Wizard's Vault pretty much. This is like the weekly things where you can buy stuff pretty much. Those Tome of Knowledges gives you a full level, and you can like click on it and it will get you 1 level. And if you have 80 of them, you can basically level through those Tome of Knowledges instead of like the PvE. Now, it kind of shows that nobody really is leveling out there. Like I've seen no players. So I leveled this character from 1 to 80 without Tome of Knowledges. Well, I'm lying. I did use the Tome of Knowledges at the end of the like level 75 because I was tired of doing PvE, and I was also tired of seeing no one in the world. But this is my Elementalist, and I've seen no one pretty much on the open world. I did all the story quests. I did everything, like tried to get like map completions, which is not really that hard, but still. And I leveled through it. Learned the class, but pretty much, to be honest, I learned my class through PvP anyways. But this is like the boring part. Like the leveling was not really great. It does feel like it needs a rework so people could level together, or people could actually see each other more often. It's comparable to retail World of Warcraft. Whenever you're leveling, you're not really interacting with people. At least you can like queue up for dungeons and it will pop and you can actually level through that. In Guild Wars 2, it is just not available. Like it's not the same world. Like everything you can complain from World of Warcraft is actually a positive in World of Warcraft compared to Guild Wars 2. Now, other things, you have PvP, which is fantastic. You can queue up from level 2, and it is normalized, so everyone has the same gear. So I'm gonna enter really quickly in the PvP lobby pretty much. So that's the zone where you can equip your gear, where you can have your skills unlocked, where you can actually choose your builds, and everything is normalized. Something that people would like to see in World of Warcraft, which I personally won't like it. I prefer it to not be normalized. I prefer to have gear progression because it is MMO. I prefer to have like gear matter to a certain extent. I'm not asking for like one shots. I'm not asking like for like abusive things, like for example in vanilla or even in TBC or in Wrath of the Lich King, where PvE was master of the gear pretty much. But in Guild Wars 2, like everything is normalized, so it means that the only thing that will keep players from like playing the game will be only the balancing from PvP, the attention towards PvP, the hype of PvP, the gameplay of PvP, the ranked mode if like people want to push for certain things, the cosmetics if they are good or not, materials, legendary crafting is in Guild Wars 2 like something that people are like working through. The loading screens are ridiculous, by the way. I have a good PC, but it is ridiculous for everyone. But whatever. You have multiple things that makes the game, I would say, put people inside of the game and let people be in the game, right? That are attractive and that will like retain those players. Those players are all PvPers, I would say, because they are like inside the PvP zone. You could also just do it like in PvE and you can queue up. But this is pretty much the PvP zone where you can choose your relic. For example, I choose this one. Weaver, you can choose your weapons. Any weapon you can put, it is normalized anyways. The only thing that matters are your sigils, which are like the bonuses whenever you're switching weapons, for example, or whenever something happens. But also your runes, which are like your stats, and then your relics. And your amulet. So your amulet is the stats. So for example, I have like 1.2k power, 900 for vitality, and 900 ferocity. Those are my stats I'm going to run for PvP, for example. Or you can choose at any time to change it. So that's something neat, I would say, that World of Warcraft could have, and they have it in tournament realms where you can have vendors and you can choose your gear, which is cool. I personally, World of Warcraft, if you could do that, I would still play the game, but I know that a lot of people are chasing the carrot on the stick, which is like gearing, and obviously if you're gearing, you're also getting cosmetics from it. And then you have your rank, which is like if you get 1.8k, you get your elite rank, your elite set in PvP for World of Warcraft. In Guild Wars 2, everything is like normalized, so we don't really care about gear. It doesn't show anything also cosmetics wise, so it doesn't matter anyways because it's everything in amulets. So cosmetics are cool, but I never get the satisfaction from what I have in World of Warcraft. So what is up with PvP in Guild Wars 2? Guild Wars 2 has a ranked mode, which is like also has seasons. At least you know it from the get-go. Like it ends in April 2nd, for example. I didn't do PvP like ranked this time, but basically you can compete if you want to. You have to be level 20 in PvP, which is like easily achieved. Like those are rank points, so every time you're going to win or whatever, you get like a rank up, and whenever you're getting level like 20, which is like underneath my camera, but I'm like too lazy to show you guys. But like if you're level 20, rank 20, you can go for ranked. Or else you have unranked. So if you're going for unranked, you're playing versus people, which is cool. Queue times are quite fast, but the games are also quite fast. And in general, it's cool, it's fun. I think it has a skill cap. It is really fun to play. I'm not gonna lie. I think the gameplay is fun and available for everyone. And you have some, how can I say, improvements you can have. Like you can be better as a elementalist, you can be better as a mesmer, you have subclasses, everything is available to you. So if you want to change up your builds, For example, your talent. This is kind of a talent tree if you look at like this. This is a talent tree pretty much. You can choose which points you can take and which specialization you're going for. For example, catalyst or whatever. And you can choose your skills. So those are the skills that you can choose, and your weapons are also going to dictate what kind of abilities you're going to have. For example, if you're staff, you will have these abilities with as a weaver. If you have daggers or swords or whatever, it would have other abilities. It's cool, it's fun, but I'm going to say that really it gets old really fast. And that's the problem I have with... I don't know how to cancel. Oh, yeah, like this. It gets old very fast. So if you're playing Guild Wars 2, you're going to enjoy your time. 100% it is worth to download and play since it's free. And you can jump in PvP from level 2, which is fine. But I think overall, if you're playing Guild Wars 2, you're going to face the same problems as World of Warcraft. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I am someone that I like dislike the current direction of World of Warcraft, but I'm also a realist. If I'm going for Guild Wars 2, it would be making me like kind of a hypocrite because they have the same problems. I think PvP is also like a afterthought for them. You have world PvP, like world versus world, which is like basically with castles and such. That's very cool, which I would like to see in World of Warcraft, but I don't think they will ever do that. That's something that will be evergreen, and you can have your fun, and you have communities, and you can have like PvP nights, and that's fun. I'll have that in Warhammer. I think I prefer in Warhammer than Guild Wars 2 though, but still you have those communities out there that you have PvP, and it's more than just you. It's about your community and your pug or your Zerg, I would say, and trying to get like zones turned, and just in general have fun with it. So you have like PvP versus PvP versus PvP, like 3 servers, and it's cool. Like it's like always going to switch. I think every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or 1 week, I don't know, and it changes the matchups versus other servers, which is cool. But again, my problems is that you have nothing to chase. Your gear, if you want to have your full gear, like also in World versus World, you want to have Ascendant gear, that's it. It's the best gear you can have. It doesn't matter if you have a legendary or not. Legendaries are cool because it's very flexible. You can change stats whenever you want. But Ascendant gear is the best items, I would say, best gear, and that never changed since Path of Fire, Heart of Thorns, or the first expansion. I don't care. So it didn't really change anything. So it means that if you come back to the game, it will change. It will not never change. So there is no reason for players to come back to Guild Wars 2 and grind again, for example. So your grind is very much like player driven. For example, if you don't care about legendaries like me, well, that's it. There is no grind. It's just purely gameplay. And the gameplay itself is good, is a great gameplay, but the thing is, I'm enjoying World of Warcraft also for the gameplay. So why would I play Guild Wars 2? So that's the kind of thing I have currently. I think the game itself is very fun. I think it's very worth it. I think it's satisfying and very nervous, which is cool. But I think the issue I have with the game are much deeper. I think it is just purely that there is nothing to grind. And also, it's very overwhelming. At level 80, whenever you're at level 80, you don't know what to do because you have the world upon you, and there is nothing dictating you like do this or do that. In World of Warcraft, it's way more handheld. Now, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Personally, I prefer like the handhelding because then I can focus on the things that I would like to do. While here right now, it's so unfocused that it's very hard to know what you want to do. I think the PvP itself is very fun. Again, you can watch multiple videos about PvP and how it is, and it's very nervous with dodges and such. It's very action driven. I think the PvP is something that a lot of people could learn from it. I think World of Warcraft could learn also from Guild Wars 2, but I could say the same for Guild Wars 2 learning from World of Warcraft. I think the novelty is growing a bit too old for me. I think if they ever do a Guild Wars 3, they should have something else than horizontal progression. And that's something I have difficulties with. I just want to have verticality, because then why would I play this game over like League of Legends or over a FPS or over a BR, because again, horizontally is very cool, but then the game should be like treated as a game that doesn't really progress you in time, because again, it's an MMO. So if you have nothing to progress to, at one point it just is like a game, and then it compares to other games which also have a horizontal progression and more like skill progression. So yeah, that's my issue. Overall, I would recommend to play the game so you can see it with your own eyes, and you would then relate a bit better towards World of Warcraft. But trust me, there is no game currently on the market that actually repair the problems that World of Warcraft has currently. That's the issue. And the main issue for World of Warcraft is, for example, that there is no competition towards PvP. That's the issue that they have. They have little or no competition to look up to and to try to improve and to steal ideas. I think Blizzard is one of those companies that really thrive in stealing ideas from others and make it their own and do it better. And since there is no competition and there is no real threat, there is no need to change anything, right? In World PvP, I would say World of Warcraft could learn a lot from Guild Wars 2, from Warhammer Online, from even Aeon, from multiple games where they did way better, like open world PvP. But the issue is that what they would like to see for their own game. Also, they're stepping away from factions, like everyone can play with each other. And again, for world PvP to have meaning, you kind of need to have like a faction war, like a territorial war, or something like a thing that you can toggle and you're like team red versus team blue, and something that is like balanced, so you cannot jump chip whenever you want, and it keeps like around 55 to 45% pop versus each other. But it's very hard because people metagame way too hard. But those are my issues with Guild Wars 2. I think overall, I'm not really positive about Guild Wars 2 in this video, but I can think that it is a positive game. It's a very good game. It just is very horizontal, and the fun comes from what you can do inside the game and what you can bring and what you can bring yourself to do. I think that is mostly what Guild Wars 2 is. And I think the PvP is quite fun to play. I think the wall PvP is very fun to play, although you have to be level 80 to be meaningful, and you have to, gear matters there. But gear is very easy to have. Ascendant gear is very easy. Exotic gear is really close to Ascendant gear, and you can buy that in the auction house pretty much. Like the black market, black lion market, or whatever it's called. You can buy that with gold. So there is that. I think PvE, fractals, and whatever dungeon that is, strike missions, whatever, it is good. I would say that it is like the same-ish as Mythic Plus, kinda, because it like there is fractals with levels. But if you're a PvPer, I would say that stepping away from WoW to go to Guild Wars 2 is not really an upgrade, and that's the issue I have currently with this game. That's why I cannot really call it my main game. It's also very hard to make videos about it, because then it kind of makes me a hypocrite, because if I'm praising Guild Wars 2 while they have the same problems as World of Warcraft, it just makes me feel like I am like a goldfish memory kind of guy. If I critique World of Warcraft for X and kind of makes me leave it, then why would I go on a game that has the same issue? Just is novelty, and at one point, once you have like played multiple weeks, you will see the same mistake, the same problem. So why would you have jump chip, except if you prefer the gameplay? But personally, I really like type target MMOs. I think it's like it has some skill towards it. It's also the most satisfying whenever you're pressing a button and how really responsive it is, and you don't have like some glitch fighting, which you can have with Guild Wars 2. But whatever. Again, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. Hopefully you did like such a discussion video about the pros and cons. Guild Wars 2, like kind of mostly cons, but like why I don't think it's like a good alternative to World of Warcraft. I will try to make it like for multiple video like games, because I did play a lot of games, to try to search for a replacement to World of Warcraft for my viewers. But I'm going to be honest, the hope is really slim currently. So look forward to our next video. I think I will try to do it like a weekly thing, so you understand how World of Warcraft is currently like in the market, and so you can also how can I say, in French it's relativiser, just how you can actually understand and be more thoughtful about talking about leaving World of Warcraft for X game, so you can actually understand, like, look, you're leaving that game for another game. Is it a real upgrade, or is it just a placebo to you, to understand like that changing for change is not really change at the end. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.